Some sad news in the NFL today. And I know this is a few generations ago. This, my friends, even though I know I never saw him play. In fact, he retired 4 years before I was born. But I can without hesitation say that this man right here, Jim Brown, is the greatest football player in NFL history. And I know that's going to throw a lot of people, oh no, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Tom Brady's the best. If it weren't for Jim Brown, there is no Tom Brady. There is no, listen, there's quite frankly no real interest in the NFL. Because even though black players were in the NFL before him, like Marion Motley, who also wore the same uniform, the Cleveland Browns uniform, there were guys like Bobby Mitchell. There was nobody quite like Jim Brown. He was the NFL's leading rusher for 8 of the 9 years that he played. When he retired, he averaged 5 yards a carry. If I'm not mistaken, he still has the highest yards per carry average in NFL history. And he played only 9 seasons. And he was the NFL's leading rusher for the longest of times until Walter Payton broke his record in 1984. Now, since then, a few people have passed Jim Brown. But make no mistake, there was no better player than Jim Brown on the football field. And as we also know, Mr. Brown was a great activist. If it weren't for Mr. Jim Brown, the fullback position, even though the fullback position now is pretty much extinct, during Jim Brown's era, that was the glamour position along with quarterback on offenses in the NFL. You think back to great fullbacks like Larry Zonko, Franco Harris. Jerome Bettis was a featured back. He was not a fullback. But he was the originator for big backs that could run. Guys like Earl Campbell later on. When you look at a guy like Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry has been a wonderful running back. He pales in comparison to this man. In fact, all running backs do. Hell, all football players do. And remember, he came up and played football at an age where they weren't just trying to tackle Jim Brown. There were people quite literally trying to kill him out there. I think the late, great Sam Huff said it best. The former New York Giant and Washington Redskin legend. Also a Hall of Famer. Summing up Jim Brown, he said, I thought Superman was white, wore a cape, and had an S on his chest. Well, I found out every Sunday that Superman was a black man in Cleveland who wore number 32. Rest in paradise, Mr. Jim Brown. And thank you for everything you did for not only the NFL, but for our people as well. And even though we didn't always see eye to eye, Mr. Brown, the fact remains that you may have been loved by a few and hated by many. But Mr. Jim Brown, you will be respected by all. Rest in paradise, and sleep well, my friend. Take care. God bless. And once again, thank you for a job well done, Mr. Jim Brown.